Why would anybody get married? It's just too much drama, some in laws, and I'm not trying to have anybody tell me what to do with my time or my money. I can do bad all by myself.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Mamia.
We welcome you back to Worth the Work. If you're new to our channel, this is where we talk everything marriage, family, and parenting. And today we are talking about why you should get married. So let's get into it. Why should people get married?
Well, I think people get married for a number of reasons. People want companionship. They want somebody to share life's ups and downs with.
Yeah, I think, definitely having a partner to do life with is great. Absolutely amazing having the opportunity to share the joys, like you said, and the times where it's not so great. Be able to go through all those times with you. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And then anybody, if you want to have a family, you have somebody to share the burden of parenting with.
God knows parenting by yourself or just raising a family alone is difficult. And so many times I've wondered how single parents do it. I have a deep respect for single parents, because when I look at how difficult it is for the two of us to do it together, and then I can just imagine what single parents go through, just being able to do that. It's a lot. So for me, the ability to have somebody to raise a family with is amazing.
Yeah. And another reason why, people get married is, some people want to be exclusively intimate with one person. And, for some people, marriage gives them that security of being exclusively intimate with one person.
Yeah, I certainly value that. And so, yes, when you can have, like you said, somebody that you can be exclusive in terms of intimacy, that is one of the great benefits of marriage when it's done the way it should be done.
And really, two is better than one. You can get more accomplished when there's two of you than when one person is.
Oh, absolutely. I feel definitely having you by my side, being able to put our heads together, being able to put whether it's finances together or just anything that we do together can go a lot further than if I was to do it by myself.
But wait a minute, baby. Before we lose some viewers, we know this sounds real good and real sweet and nice. But what about all those people who are married and lonely and their partners are not really sharing the ups and downs of life with them?
Yeah, lots of marriages, folks are, again, lonely, don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, there are people like that.
Yeah, that is a real possibility.
And what about those parents who are, married and they feeling like single parents? They're, doing everything for the children. They're carrying the weight of the finances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about those people who are just not getting any? You know, there are people who are in these sexless marriages. I mean, what about that? Marriage doesn't guarantee all of this.
It is true. I think we go into marriage with these great expectations, these great things in mind in terms of what we expect and what to get out of it and we expect to enjoy. And it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah.
So even with that said, we still believe you should get married. We still are proponents of marriage. Yeah. But the real question isn't, should you get married? So the real question, though, is if you desire to be married, how should you prepare? How should you view this thing called marriage and thus prepare yourself to get into it?
Yeah, so it's not about why you should get married. It's about your perspective. What perspective should you have about marriage?
Yeah. Reality is our society has, I think, a faulty view of marriage. Lots of people rush into marriage or get into marriage without the right preparation, the right perspective. And I think, obviously, whether you're talking about movies or wherever else people have, picked up their idea of marriage. But we do know that people get into marriage without the right perspective. And so we think that getting into marriage with the right perspective makes all the difference. Yeah. I think for anybody who desires to be married, you have to look at it as a journey where two people who are imperfect are coming together. And so what do you get out of it? An imperfect union, an imperfect marriage. So what does that mean? You have somebody like me, lots of faults, lots of things where I'm still growing, lots of areas in which I'm still growing. And mind you, we got married when we were young. We were young. And so lots of things I didn't know, understand not only about myself, but about life and the world. And so imagine when two people in this state, I don't care if you're 20 or you're 50, there's still that part of learning who you are, learning about the other person. And so when you bring these two people together, you have to have the mentality that you are on this journey of self-development and bringing that together where you are growing individually and together. It's going to be messy. It's going to take sticking it out all the way through the ups and downs to get to that point where you can enjoy those things. Those things that we just talked about aren't going to come just like that or overnight. It's going to come with a lot of work, but it's the perspective that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Are you willing to stick it out when you see the worst of me? Better yet, going into it expecting that it's not going to be roses. Knowing that you're going to have some things that you're going to have to live through. So part of the issue that we see with marriage is that we don't go into marriage with the right understanding, with the right view. And that, I think, is part of the challenge.
Yeah.
And so when we answer that question, how are you looking at marriage? I think we can go a lot further in it. Of course, and you got to check out our other video that we just put out. But when you find the right person, when you have the right perspective and you have found the right person in that you have aligned your values and how you see life and what's important, what priorities are, you have a better chance. And again, as you look at what you want out of marriage, you and this individual can both have to come in with the right perspective, not only on marriage, but in terms of what you both value and want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So again, it's about the right perspective and the right person in terms of aligning. So again, make sure you check out that video about family values.
Yeah. And so it's really about two people who are willing to stick it out through each other's individual growth to come around to get to that place where you are having those benefits of marriage.
Yeah. So especially if you're at that point where you desire to be married. So when you're talking to your potential spouse, yes, talking about where you want to live and how many kids you want to have, all of that stuff is great in terms of hashing that out. But the real things that you want to really talk about is how you see this marriage in terms of pushing each other to become your best, going through those times that you're going to have to push one another to become sort of that finished product at the other side of it.
Yeah. So getting to all those wonderful things about marriage is definitely a process. You have to be willing to stick it out, because it is a journey. It's definitely a journey, and you can have, all the great benefits if you're willing to put in the work and really stick this thing out, because there will be, a lot of challenges along the way.
So if you find yourself in a marriage right now where you're frustrated because you're not seeing the things that you desired initially coming in, take heart. There is hope. Come back to the table with your spouse. Have a conversation about the perspectives that you either hold and where you need to adjust and make some changes, perhaps, and begin to see some different results.
And if you're single and you're thinking about, why you want to get married, you really want to start thinking about your perspective of marriage and understand, that it's something that you're going to have to stick out in order to reap the benefits of being married. So you want to be doing a lot of, introspective, evaluation to see why do you want to get married? Do you have the proper idea of marriage?
Yeah.
And marriage is not for everyone. So if you evaluate these things and you realize you're not willing to stick out, through someone's ups and downs and someone's personal development and your own development, it may be something you want to rethink.
Maybe definitely rethink and make sure that you have the right perspective going in.
Right.
All right. So we hope that this has been helpful for you. Make sure that you subscribe if you have not. We definitely will also want you to hit that notification bell so you can know when new videos come out. All right.
And we'd love to hear from you. Our email is in the description box. Send us a message. Let us know what you guys want to hear about marriage and parenting. We'd love to do some videos on some things that you want to hear about as well.
All right. Take care.